Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here in Washington, D.C. now, and I'm with Roger Block, who is the president of Travel Leaders Network. And I come to this conference every year. Roger's here every year. We're going to talk to him about the network, but also this is actually the final year. Hopefully it won't be the final interview I ever do with Roger, but the final as probably a president at Travel Leaders Network, because Roger is retiring and stepping back, but as he assured me, he's still going to be around. So we're going to talk to him and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. First of all, Roger, I should say congratulations for your retirement, but I'm not even sure how much.
Wait a minute. I'm not retiring.
Okay.
I am stepping aside.
Okay.
And I'm going to be continuing with the company for the foreseeable future. Okay. Working on strategic projects, working with our members on various things, attending most of the member events. So I get the best of both worlds.
That's actually a pretty good deal. I like that deal. If I could find that deal, except I can't retire, so I'm going to just be hanging around with you for a while.
Okay, sounds good, James.
Okay. Well, let's talk first about Travel Leaders Network. We're here at this conference. I understand there's roughly a couple of thousand here with about 1,600 travel advisors, and this is what it's been for quite some time. You have a great conference. It's one of the ones I need to go to every year too. But talk about the health of Travel Leaders Network right now.
I think the whole industry, but especially Travel Leaders Network, has never been in a better position. We're larger than we've ever been. Mm-hmm. Our sales in leisure and corporate are higher than they've ever been. Yields are up when I talk to our members, and we don't get financial reports, but profitability of our members is higher than it's ever been. We were talking earlier, this could be the golden age of the retail travel distribution.
When we keep talking about this, I said, what's going to happen next that's going to stop that? But right now, you're absolutely right. In the golden age, we all go back to 2019, and we're far surpassing those figures like that. Talk about your membership period. How big is Travel Leaders Network? How many travel agencies and roughly travel advisors do you have in the network? It's pretty big, right?
Well, actually, we've got about 5,700 agencies throughout the United States and Canada. We're acquiring new members literally on a daily basis, workday basis, and some great agencies. We, depending on how you want to count, somewhere well north of 100,000 advisors now.
That's pretty amazing. And
when you think about it, our members are growing like crazy. We have some of the biggest hosts in the United States and in Canada, and we're bringing in new talent, which is, we've talked about how do we attract good agents, good advisors, and it takes time. Anyone who's been in this business knows that it's not something that you pick up in a day. Mm-hmm. It takes time to learn destinations, time to learn suppliers, and what's amazing to me is how energetic, entrepreneurial, intelligent. Mm-hmm. The new advisors of today are an incredible breed, and
very often they're coming from other businesses. They've been successful, and they see the opportunities in travel, right?
Absolutely, and they're making more money today than they've ever made. I remember, this is my last edge as president. And I've been doing this for 44 years. But I remember when I got into it, they said, you can't make any money in travel. Today, advisors really are unlimited as to what they can make. You can make an incredible living and get to see the world and enjoy places you never would have gotten to see.
And you've been doing that. And as you mentioned, we were talking about it earlier, your son has a travel agency, right?
Absolutely. He's got an agency that has a corporate arm and a host arm, and it's growing. It's WorldVia, and I couldn't be prouder of him. But I remember when I sold my company, Travel Agents International, to Carlson, I kidded with him. I said, now, do you have any interest of getting into the travel business? Now, this is when he was working for Capital One, and he looked at me and said, no, I won't repeat exactly what he said, but the answer was not really. And And here we are, 10 years later, or 15 years later, and he has built a heck of a business. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
No, it's amazing, and I want to talk to him because I've spoken with him before, but he has built an amazing business. But even for you, when you sold Travel Agents International, and you were joined, at that time Carlson, and then ultimately that became Travel Leaders. I wasn't sure. You'd made your money, you sold it, and here you are. How many years later since the sale, and you're still? Well, we're both still around, but that's another story.
No, I sold it in '97. And at the time, Carlson Wagonlit was the second largest travel company in North America. Think about how the world has changed on that one. And Carlson was the largest franchise group, but it has been an amazing ride. We are so much bigger today, so much stronger today in terms of the products we offer, the services, the technology, the education. It's amazing to see the types of things we provide today. That really have been developed. A lead generation program.
Well, we talked about that every year. You talk about Agent Profiler,
right.
And that keeps growing. And we're going to talk to Steve McGilvery about that one a little bit in another interview. But that's been an amazing tool for you. But just the sheer size of the network and how it's grown, and how you've added preferred suppliers and put in new programs, and of course training and education for your members. It's just really been amazing what you've been able to accomplish.
And the other thing is we really do cover all segments of the business, from contemporary to luxury. We have a luxury alliance of members. We're right at 500, and they all have to be $1 million producers. We have 47 applications of new advisors wanting to get into that group, and that's just their luxury sales. That's not the contemporary upper premium. That's pure luxury. So we are growing so quickly in that segment of the market.
Even though you do, within Internova, you have another, even a different sister business, a global travel collection that's really focused on that. But you have a lot of luxury sales just within Travel Leaders Network, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we sell everything you can think of. And the prices that people today are willing to pay, it's amazing how much money there is within North America that people are willing to invest in experiences and lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then of course another income source that really we'd kind of forgotten about, and I'll tell you this, is that since the commission cuts back in the caps in the 90s and 2000s, we were not telling people to sell to really sell air. Why would you do it if you're not getting any money? Fact was that everybody was getting money, just not on a base commission level. And a few years later, and I really hadn't been thinking about this, you said to me, why wouldn't you sell the air? And I wrote a story at the time for another publication called "Make Money Selling Air," and I interviewed you for that. And now here we are. Sort of, it's come full circle where the airlines are starting. You have a great new program. I think it's called SNAP.
It is.
And talk a little bit about that and how it's been kind of a renaissance of air sales for travel advisors. Because why wouldn't you make that part of the trip you plan?
Well, when you think about it, if you're booking a tour or cruise, you've got to get your customer from point A to wherever the destination is. So you're either telling the tour operator, the cruise line, where the point of origin is, the dates of flights. Why not do it on a super simple booking engine and get paid to do it?
Sure.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, folks. It doesn't take that much more time, if any. You don't have to go through the ARC appointments or IATA appointments. We take most of the risk if there's a debit memo. Actually, we go through every itinerary and every reservation just to make sure your advisors did it correctly. And the amount of commissions that you can earn are well, let's say for a European business class, could be $400 or $500 a ticket,
which is not chump change, that's for sure.
No, you're adding $800 to $1,000 to profit to the transaction for maybe 10 minutes more work. Why wouldn't you do that? You've got the customer there; they're already buying a suite on whatever. A lot of elderly, I hate to say this, they have leg trouble. They don't want to sit in a tiny seat.
Okay.
So do you ask them, do you want to fly business? And you can stretch out and you can put your legs up. And you can make $800 for the couple, $1,000 for the couple, depending on the airline, the routes, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, and there's commission on domestic tickets. There's commission on, obviously, international tickets. It's why wouldn't you for such a little bit more time? Mm-hmm. And that way you control the entire itinerary. If the customer wants to leave 2 days early, 3 days early, I mean, I talk to people on some cruises, and we all know this. They fly to Barcelona. They want to see Barcelona. They fly in the day of, or they maybe fly a day early, but do they really have any time to see Barcelona? Right. And then they get on the ship and they leave. Mm-hmm. And they get off in Rome or wherever it is. They never get to see Barcelona. Mm-hmm. They really need to fly in 2 or 3 days early. Oh, by the way, that's more commission for you. You can, with the hotel, you can do sightseeing tours either through a DMC or other. More money for you. Same transaction. So, when you package your own air with it, it's a
natural. And
it really is, folks. Now you're being the full service agent, the full service advisor, taking care of what your customer really needs.
Now, when you talk to your new members coming into TLN, what is the main reason they say they joined Travel Leaders Network?
There isn't one. It's lead generation. It's the technology. It's the education. It's our breadth of preferred suppliers. It's the consumer marketing we do for our advisors for free. We don't charge. It's the whole package. And when they compare, and yes, every agency may have a different priority into the list, but it's really the overall encompassing package that can help their business not only grow but make more money.
Now, let's turn to one other issue that I want to talk to you before we talk about. I want to talk a little bit about your career in the business as well, although you said you're not leaving. So we probably will have other interviews. So we'll like that. Well, but it is finding new talent, finding the new travel advisors. And you said there's incredibly intelligent people coming into the business. But and I know you have programs like Travel Leaders for Tomorrow and things like that to help train them in this. But where are we finding these people, and how can we find them? Because right now, I don't know about you, but this is the first time I can remember where the travel agency profession, travel advisor profession is a growing one, and really we want more travel advisors, and it's hard to find them, right?
Well, it's hard to find experienced.
Right.
And that has been an issue since I first got into the business in 1980. To find people who want to get into the travel business is easy. There are people that they see the benefits. They see the fact that you can make money in this business. It's an exciting career. You're servicing people. And side story, my former in-laws were funeral directors. Okay, now it can be a very profitable business, but you're always dealing with people who are sad. I mean, can you imagine always dealing with someone who had just lost a loved one? The travel business is 180 degrees different. You're fulfilling their dreams. You are fulfilling their bucket list. You're helping them achieve goals. It's an exciting business.
Sure.
So.
Okay, so it would be a good pairing to be a funeral director and a travel agency, because then you could make them happy after their life. Why not? I mean, that's a new niche, I think.
I'm going to leave that one alone, okay? You can go try that one. I don't know. But, so finding people who want to get into the business, there are literally, I'd say, tens of thousands who are interested in this industry. It takes training. And that's one of the things that has really changed over my career is most agencies, if you go, let's say, pre-commission cuts, they weren't geared up to train new advisors. And we called them outside salesmen back in the day.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember you were not a big fan of outside salespeople to begin with, and now the whole model has changed, right?
Well, the problem was the people who were trying to do it did not have formal education programs. And the hosts of today, the successful hosts of today, are spending so much time and energy developing curriculum to train someone of how to get from new to become really experienced in a certain segment. And then they're expanding from there, obviously. And if you're thinking about attracting new independent contractors, you really do have to have a formal program of how you're going to take these people and help them grow within this industry. And that's what was missing before the hosts really got going. And that's why I think there's so many successful hosts out there today.
And you have a lot of them within the TLN network, right?
Absolutely, and we have a lot of education programs. We have about 1,600 different programs on our learning and management system. A number of them are aimed for the brand new advisors. So we help them educate their independent contractors, and it makes a very strong bond. So,
yeah. Well, I was going to use part of this interview to talk about your career, but you know what? I'm not going to, because I think I'm going to see you again. And we're going to do another interview to talk about your career in travel and what the change, more in effect, to see the changes. We can probably go on and on about that, because we've both been around for a little while. And so there's incredible changes. We're going to do, I promise we're going to do another interview with Roger to talk about that. But it's great to see you here. Obviously, your final EDGE conference as president, but yes, probably not your final EDGE conference.
No, I will be at the EDGE next year for sure. And we'll sit down and we'll talk about the old times.
Absolutely. We'll have a long one. That's going to be like a series, I think.
Oh, I'm sure we could talk about... no, never mind.
all the secrets that we've developed over 30 plus years in the industry or more. Roger, it's great to see you here. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us about, it sounds like all things are great with Travel Leaders Network. Sales are great. More people.
Never been better.
It's amazing when you say that, because we've both been in the business for a while, but this is probably, as we were talking earlier, the golden age for travel agencies, for travel advisors.
Absolutely. This is, it just looks like it's going to continue to grow as the public continues to want to travel. I see no slowdown in that. It's the experiences that our providers, cruise lines, tour operators, DMCs provide. It's life-filling.
Well, on that positive note, I'm James Shillinglaw here at the Travel Leaders Network EDGE Conference, once again, with Roger Block. But I promise we're going to do this again next year, if not before, because Roger and I end up seeing each other on cruise ships and all around the world. And next time we'll sit down and talk a little bit more in depth about his career, also the whole, what we've all seen in the travel in the last 30 years. Again, Roger, thank you so much.
Thank you, James. It's always a pleasure.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.